To the study session for August 25th, 2025. First thing on the agenda, Mr. City Manager, is the Housing Authority overview. Would you like to give that one frame that one up for us?
Actually, Mr. Mayor, the Executive Director of the Housing Authority was going to come present this evening, but I had a conflict, so we are rescheduling that for your September 8th study session. So we'll look forward to that.
Very good. So that brings us to the IPL customer charge review. So would you like to frame that one up for us, please?
Yes, sir. I'm going to ask our Director of Independence Power and Light, Joe Hegendeffer, to come up and give this presentation. Customer charge is something that all of our customers see on their monthly bill. It's been a long time since that was last viewed, and in light of our strategic plan of ensuring our revenues are stable and sustainable, we are taking a look at that, and Mr. Hegendeffer is going to share this presentation. As information, this was shared at the Public Utility Advisory Board meeting last week, and so they have seen it. Now the council's getting this update.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Joe Hegendeffer, the Director of Independence Power and Light. So yes, as Zach said, tonight I want to talk to you all about the customer charge and talk about any staff recommendations or changes to that, and we'll kind of go through what the customer service charge does. We'll talk about some revenue and expenditure projections for IPL, talk about our unrestricted cash projections, and then kind of an overall theme of how that's really going to impact our customers' bills for our residents. So without further ado, we'll kind of go through. I think everybody up here knows right now IPL is sitting at the same effective rate that we've had since 2012. So we've kind of gone up and down a few times, but we're back even with 2012 rates. And with that, we've had a few cost of service studies that have been done by Burns & McDonnell. The most two recent was in 2019 and in 2022. And both of those, in 2019, they recommended a $19.62 customer charge, and in 2022, it was $28.69. We currently sit at a $10 customer charge. So a customer charge really helps pay for the fixed costs of IPL. So when you start talking about transformers, lines, equipment, personnel, all the things behind the scenes, the customer charges are supposed to help cover that, because whether you use 100 kilowatt hours in a month or 5,000 kilowatt hours in a month, I have to have all the same equipment to serve each one of those loads effectively in the same manner. So the customer charge is meant to kind of flatten that out, and then high energy users will pay more of what we call our variable costs. In other words, the cost to procure that energy and get it into Independence and to your residents. Looking into the future for our revenue and expense projections, this is a little bit busy here, but I just want to point out that the dotted line or the dashed line is really a projection of our cost minus capital projects. So that's really our O&M cost projections. And then the very top line adds in all of our projected capital projects or our CIP program. The very bottom blue line shows if we do nothing where we will sit. And that's below both of those lines. And then the top lines really, I guess I would call it the gray line, talks about if we are able to incorporate the recommendations that we're going to make to help with the customer charge. If you guys all remember, we had DKMT kind of come in and do some studies and talk to us about, well, especially the big CIP projects, we should be funding some of those through debt service and taking out bonds and paying those out over a longer period of time. So this graph is supposed to help represent if we went into debt service for the first 3 years of our next 3 years of capital projects, what that would do to the line. And it really just kind of flattens out or lowers the first 3 years. But then you've got debt service payments. So it's like putting it on a credit card. Your payments are lower now, but they're going to be higher later, right, to pay those off. So they kind of help us in the first 3 years, but long term doesn't really solve the problem right now. Any questions so far? Go ahead.
Please proceed.
Thank you. We can barely see the O&M dashed line. it sits above the gray line?
Yes.
Is that correct? And that's our current O&M trajectory?
Yes.
Okay.
So the current O&M trajectory we've put about a 1.5% escalation on material costs and about a 3% escalation on labor into the future years. And then the capital line moves around because of our CIP projected plans, so that actually follows our plan.
Mr. Mayor.
Please proceed.
Joe, just to make sure I'm clear on something, so with the line that I'm seeing here, basically it says with the change that you're proposing, we're still only good up until about 28, 29. Is that?
That is
Would that
correct.
be accurate? So
That is
that means
accurate.
we're likely to need something else to happen before then, right?
So when we get to the very end, I'll kind of go through what
Okay.
our recommendations are and why we landed there.
Okay.
Because I think there's a lot of future changes coming, and I don't want to make long-term asks until we understand how those are going to impact us. So when we get to the final recommendation, I don't mean to cut you off by any means.
No,
It's a
that's
great
fine.
question, but I will cover it, why we made the recommendation that we are moving forward. So this is a different way of kind of looking at where we've been. So this is a past graph, right, up to the 2020, 24, 25 fiscal year. And you can kind of see that big blue line is where we ended up with revenues, expenses. The dark red is our O&M, and then the lighter red is capital. There was changes to some benefit terms that kind of inflated our revenues in the 18, 19. And then in 20/21, if we remember, those were the COVID years. We gave back a pretty good sized rebate, so that year was a little bit out of the normal as well. So that's how we kind of got to where we are currently, and then we'll look into the future projections. One of the things I want to point out is it looks really good right now if you look at actually the first 4 years. What I want to point out is that our O&M spend has been down because we've been trying to watch costs as much as possible, and also the light red is very small because we have put off capital projects. That is not a good model moving forward, and now that the DKMT studies are completed and we're going to keep IPL and we're going to moving into the future, we really need to invest in it and get our infrastructure up, keep reliability up, and keep the lights on for everybody. So that puts us below the lines moving forward, and that's just kind of what the projections look like. So we know that if we're spending more than our revenues are, we dig into our reserves. And this is a kind of a projection of our cash reserves, if you will. And they go down pretty fast if we don't do anything. So the very bottom blue line is to do nothing. And then the other two lines are pretty close, and I'll talk. So we started off with 2 recommendations, and both of those were the same. They were just doubled up on a period, and I'm going to change my ask a little bit tonight. And I know nothing's being voted on, and I'm just talking through this tonight, but we were going to ask for a $5 increment in 2 years consecutively, and so I put those into my graph. What the staff recommendation is really going to be is one $5 increment change to the customer charge starting in calendar year 26. And then in the summer of 26, I would like to do another full financial model cost of service study and look forward and rate study, because there's a lot of things changing in our industry. And I think it's only fair, since it's been 2022 since we did the last one, that we go ahead and get an increase now and then do another full model and see what the projections are and make any other further requests at that point in time.
Please proceed.
Sorry,
No, you're fine.
just to back up, under the historical actuals, with that little blue there at the 2021, we did have the rebate, but we also
Yes.
paid down debt service as well.
Sorry, let me turn this on, Rebecca. My apologies if no one can hear me.
There you go.
So we did debt service reduction and also the rebate.
Right. So,
during that
and-
period.
And that's why the capital is a little bit thicker, and that
Yeah.
O&M that year is a little bit higher, because there were some other expenses on top of the rebate.
My memory
But-
just jogged me that I don't know, I can't recall how much debt service, but we did get some down from there.
We also took on some expenses of not turning people off and not collecting revenues that year, which kind of hurt
Correct.
revenues a little bit as well, right?
Yeah.
That's a good point, so appreciate that. So this is kind of what a current average independent resident utility bill looks like today. You can see the customer charge is at $10 for both the summer and winter, and we're requesting that to move up $5, which would be an effect of about a 3% change in their bill. So you're going from $10 or $120, raising that up $60 a year annually. I also wanted to look at, we hear a lot about how independence bills are very high. So let's look at where we compare to other utilities, so Evergy and BPU. And yes, it does put us above Evergy's customer charge, but I want to point out that Evergy's energy charges are higher than ours. And also, this is a very simplified. They have a lot of additional riders onto there, a lot of demand side management and green energy initiatives that are paid for that are in addition to the bill. They have facilities charges, of course, a franchise fee. The only one that I think is an outlier is KCBPU. Now, they have a $26 customer charge, but their energy rate is really low. If you look at they have a lot of different riders on there as well that they can adjust monthly. Any questions? Thought I saw somebody. No? So with that, we're recommending, again, that we change the customer charge for residential from $5 to $15. All the other classes, we're going to recommend that we raise those $10. Now, over 90% of our customers are residential, but we think we should raise the commercials to $25 and $50 respectively for small and large, and then industrials up to $60 and $85 for the bigger industrial customers.
Any questions?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Please proceed.
So how much will the commercial change? You get them to 25 and they're starting where? So they're plus $10?
Yes,
Okay, and the industrial are plus
10.
10. Thank you.
So residential's 5, everybody else is coming up $10. So that's about a 2.5% increase to IPL's revenues, which equates to about $3.8 million annually, which can help get us to where we need to be to maintain this utility. With that, I will take any other questions.
Anyone else?
So just
Please
to
proceed.
just to reiterate, so
Yes,
your
sir.
plan would be, your proposal would be to do the $5 January 1, 2026, and then you would do a rate study in summer 26, and that would then provide information to determine where we go from there.
Yes,
And I'm assuming that, you know, you're factoring in a number of things relative to, or the fact that we have a lot of moving targets in things happening or potential things happening in the city. So that'll get you down the road a little
Yes.
bit more, have some more information at that time where we can make a better decision on where we go from here. Is that?
couldn't have said it better
Be
myself.
accurate?
That's
Okay.
that's exactly right. So in January of 2026, the recommendation is to move these customer charges. And then once we close the books at the end of June in 2026 and we can get some yearly financials, then we use that, put it into our financial model with the customer service and also rate studies and see where we need to be. You are right, there's a lot of economic development things moving, and it'll also give us some time to see where we're really at with a lot of major projects and be able to make a more solid recommendation for moving into the future. Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Please proceed.
So, Mr. Hagendeffer, you talked about we've had to delay some of our CIP projects. And let's assume this goes through and you end up with additional dollars. Can you just give me a sense of what would be the beginning investments? What sorts of things are desperately needed and right on the horizon?
Yeah, so we currently had a poll survey done of aged polls. That's one of the things that we would like to go and get those changed out. Equipment, we're building a cover. Man, now I need to go through my CIP budget in my head. I know there's some transmission poles as well that need to be changed out, some big H structures. Also, there are some distribution lines that need upgrading for reliability. So a lot of these are reliability projects so that the residents can really see the fruits of paying your bill and being able to maintain the lights.
And I know you had talked about some of our larger transformers. Those needed to be replaced. They're still on super back order while
Those
we're waiting
are.
for those to come. Okay.
There's 4 of those transformers in 2 slots of 2 that are planned out in the future to be replaced. Yeah, some of those are 50 years old, and we need to start replacing those.
Okay. So I guess my question is, do we already have the money to put down as earnest money for those, or is that something that's in this
Those are in the
CIP?
CIP budget.
Okay,
So those are
correct.
planned expenses in the
fantastic.
future CIP budget, yes.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else have further questions? Seeing none?
I think that's a really good point, though. I'll just go back to this slide and look at the future. And if you look at that lighter red top and see how much bigger they are than the past couple of years, that's for those big infrastructure projects that we've been talking about. So they are planned and they're in the CIP budget for expenditures. Yes.
And if I could, Mr. Hagendeffer, for that, I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but
Nope.
for those people just watching, for the sake of clarity, could you give them kind of an overview of the CIP projects, the capital improvement projects that we're going to be doing going forward? And you don't have to do anything, just some of the big stuff. I mean, obviously,
I mean, yeah, some of those were pointed out, large transformers, distribution transformers that feed neighborhoods. Some of those are actual lines and poles, and some of those are distribution and transmission. Some of those are equipment. Some of our equipment and our bucket trucks are pretty aged. I know they're not cheap, they're expensive items, but we have to have those reliable so that we can get in backyards, and some of that's equipment. So it's kind of a whole myriad of different things for the utility industry.
right? I mean, it's keeping the trees trimmed, all of that stuff too.
Tree trimming is part of our O&M spend
Okay.
every year, but yes, tree trimming is absolutely a large part of our budget as well.
So I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. I
That's okay.
recognize this wasn't a capital improvement program, but
Yeah.
it's
there's-
it's a big portion of that increase, and just kind of.
And some of those are for future development as well, right?
Right.
So
And so,
making sure we can supply future customers.
right. That's one of the things that we've talked about quite a bit with regards to growing the valley is getting power there in order to get customers to come in there to
Yep. Yes.
be tenants. They're asking for power.
Lots of it.
And some of them are lots of it. That's exactly right. So that's another part of the process.
Yes.
Very good.
There's also a lot of residential going up right now. So, all of those pad mount transformers and supplying each one of those customers and residents is a big deal just as well.
Yep. Excellent. Thank you. Very good. Anyone else? Excellent job. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
This brings us to the third topic item.
Mr. Mayor?
Please
Just a
proceed.
real quick question.
Absolutely.
Mr. City Manager, when will that be coming to us, that proposal, in the way of,
For consideration.
for consideration?
Let me visit with the director and formulate the final recommendations. As he said this evening, we've kind of, based on feedback, adjusted that a little, but I would anticipate yet this fall.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor McCandless, you're the expert on item number 1 under staff reports. So if you would like to proceed and kind of give us an update, I would be grateful.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is just a recap of the process that we are establishing for subcommittee for city manager recruitment. As you recall, at our last council meeting, this subcommittee was formed. Councilmember Perkins, Councilmember Fears, myself are on the committee. Councilmember Wiley is the alternative should one of us not be able to participate. As you know, 3 of us can be in a room at once so that we don't violate any of the sunshine laws. That's why the committee is established with 3 members. The primary objective right now for that committee is to do the work on an RFP so that we can select a search firm to help with recruitment and vetting of the next city manager candidates. We started the process. That means that we have solicited feedback from the department heads to see what it is that they are hoping for in the next city manager. We have a survey out to our 1,100 employees that they have the opportunity to give some feedback to us as well. We have had some feedback. Councilmember Wiley is going to be summarizing that for the committee. And then we've also had some key stakeholder meetings with people in the community to begin to solicit feedback from that. And of course, the council members have had the opportunity to give some feedback on process. So as I said, the first thing we'll be doing is crafting the RFP. We are hoping to move our process along. I will let you know that we have a placeholder on Monday's meeting. If we are able to complete the work, then we will be able to approve that on Monday if the council so desires. If not, and we need to table it, then we have that option. And our hope is that we will be releasing this sometime after Labor Day. We would allow 3 weeks for respondents to put in their applications. The next step of that would be reviewing them and interviewing the finalist candidates. Of course, the council will be the ones to make the final determination of who our search firm would be. After they are selected, then the next steps would be negotiating a contract, thinking through a process, and being able to establish a timeline. The timeline is, of course, one of the things that most people are interested in to see where that would fall in the schedule of the year. As we get these things completed with the indulgence of the council, we will be making periodic updates to keep the community appraised of how things are moving along. I will stop there and ask my fellow members if they have any thoughts or anything they want to add.
I think that's a good summary of kind of right where we're at. I would say instead of Monday, we're meeting on Tuesday because of the holiday.
Thank you.
Outside of that, I think we're kind of on track.
Right, and just for the council's benefit, if we can get as far as we'd like to get on Friday, we're hopeful that we can email something to you all to review and look at and maybe take action on Tuesday night. And if we're not ready, then we're not ready. But at least you'll have a chance to have looked over and reviewed it and make any comments that you like.
Anyone else have further questions? And just for clarity, this RFP is only for the search firm. And so that's step 1 in the process. Anyone else have further questions? But it'd be my hope, if I can give you my 2 cents worth, that we could possibly get the RFP ready to go and have it done on next Tuesday, so to just keep the process going. But of course, I want to make sure that everyone's had time to look at it, review it, and feels comfortable with it before we put it on there, so that it's not, we need to hurry, but we don't need to rush. Anyone else have further comments? Further questions? Perfect. If there's no further comments on that agenda item, Mr. City Manager, the floor is yours if you'd like to wrap up with anything before we adjourn this meeting.
No, sir, I don't believe I have anything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With that, we will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you.